Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in today. Really looking forward to having a lovely little catch up with you. I hope you're feeling okay and that you're going to craft along with me. If not, just sit back, relax, and let's just have a catch up. You can just watch, I don't mind. We've got a little bit of stamping, some stencil work, some colouring, plenty for you to look at. But also, if Mr. Mojo's still not come back, we've got plenty to entice him back. And today I'm going to create this lovely little design, and I'm using one of our older fairies. As you know, I do like to mix older stamps with newer stamps. And I said this yesterday, it's a good time to look through your stamps and have a look at what you've got. As always, on my card design, I've decorated the back. Carrying on with the theme, and a little tip, my fairy, the lovely fairy tale, I felt was too large. She's a focal point on the front, but too large to go on the back. So I looked in my stamps and I have a gorgeous mini seed head. Too large, I felt, from the front because of the perspective, but goes perfectly on the back of the card design and also on my envelope. And look, it stamps beautifully on the little flap at the back. So often with the mini stamps, have a look, because these could be the ones that will tie in with your card design and work beautifully on the back of a card and on your envelope. So that's my little tip for today. And look, it's just beautiful. The minis are so useful. So I'm going to pop that over there and look at the detail in her. Look at her headdress. Absolutely stunning. Now we have got various dandelion stamps. Now again, you may want to team her up with those, but just for today I thought it was too obvious, so I thought I'd go for something a little bit different, and I'd use our moss caps, these gorgeous mushrooms. It's nice to almost just see something a bit different and sort of, you know, we say think outside the box, but you know what I mean. It's not always good for me because I want to sort of whet your crafty appetite. I don't want to give you the obvious that you expect, because not being funny, you can do that yourself. And I know you do. I know you come up with some fantastic ideas. Sometimes you just need a little bit of help. And that's why we're here at Lavinia. The whole of the creative team, we're here to help. Right, Multifarious card, 5.5 inch square, just because that's a good size I know to go on my 6x6. And I'm going to start with our lovely moss caps. Now, there are two stamps on this collection, look, a large and a small, but I'm going for the large. And I'm going to ink up in the black, the Nocturne. So it's the Versafine Clair. So for our new lovely friends and followers, this is a permanent ink. And just in general, I tend to do my stamping in my permanent ink and then my background in my dye-based inks, because they tend to blend and move better. I'm going to pop that sort of about here. And again, I'm just judging it by eye. We have some lovely expressions in craft, don't we? One of the ones I love is by eye. I think it's nice to do things by eye. I'm just going to turn my card. I find it easy to make sure I turn the card. Yes, I know, I've got to be honest. I find anything that's easy better. Well, why be difficult? So this one, I'm going to stamp so it sort of overlaps. But again, I want to keep it quite straight. And I'm saying quite straight because just in case it isn't perfectly straight, but again, it's by eye, it's handmade, handcrafted. So do you know what? It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. So I've got, and I love this design. And I just think it gives me white space here. But also, if I wanted to add a sentiment, if I show you the finished card, for me, this is an ideal one to create at this time of year. So that if I suddenly forget a friend's birthday, I could stamp a birthday greeting here. If I've got a friend who's unwell, I could stamp a best wishes greeting here, or with love. So, and that section there's fabulous. I could even put one of my sentiment stickers here. So for me, this is one of those great cards to have in for emergencies. And I don't know about you, but I get those quite a lot. Now, what I thought I'd do here, well, bit of a challenge. So with our lovely fairy look, and use the acetate, we want to pop her so she's sat. So if I'm not sure how, I could put that foot on, but then this one's up in the air. So what I'm thinking is if I try and plant the dandelion here and that foot, so this one looks like it's just coming over. Have a look at that. Right, so I think that's going to work. Now, if you've not done this before, the best advice I can give you is practice on a piece of copy paper. Now, I practiced and it was fine. I did my sample card and it was fine. But there's a little thing called Murphy's Law, and when you're demonstrating, everything you practice might be fine. When you do it live, sometimes it isn't. So that's my get out clause in case it doesn't work. But you know what? If she doesn't have a foot right on here, I've got a black fine liner pen and I'll just give her a bit of an extension. We'll give her a bit of a shoe. So the black. She's a silhouette and there's quite a lot of a look. So I'm just doing light tapping, but making sure that I fill as much of that stamp with ink and just checking the light. I think we've got most of her there. So I'm going to stand up and I'm going to come in and hover over the top and just try and position that foot and the dandelion there. And I'm going to go for that. Like I say, don't stress. If she isn't perfectly placed, we can just add little bits. If there was too big a gap, you could add a little bit of foliage. Again, some of our mini stamps. Or you could just, with your black fine liner, make the stem a little bit wider. There's ways round it. Now again, she's a silhouette. There's lots of ink there. So just give that a little couple of seconds just for that ink to soak in. And then let's lift her up and see. There we go, look. I must have held my breath. We've actually managed with a foot. But as I say, if there was a gap here, we could just use our fine liner. But I can relax now. I'm just going to give that a bit of a blot. Your Versafine Clair, it's a slower drying ink. Now, as you can see, I have some copy paper just for me. I find that works. It helps me with my stamping. I know there's a lot of crafters who can stamp happily on the mat. Just doesn't work for me. But then that's just me. And again, you'll find your way. And as long as you enjoy what you do, that's all that matters. Stencil, I decided on Flora. And I'll tell you why. In my head, when I saw the wings here that Tracy's drawn, the shape of the wings just reminded me of this stencil. But again, that's probably the way my head works. Now, I want my stenciling in this area, but not here. So what I'm going to do is come in with some low tack Lavinia tape, because I could just remember not to stencil in that area. But I've got to be honest, me being me, I get a bit carried away when I start and I'm liable to just go over with the ink. So it makes it easier for me. The colours I've gone for, Mermaid and Confetti. So what I'm going to do is take the lid off each one and have a brush for each one. So I have a brush for my darker blues, my blue atoll and my mermaid, and I have one for the confetti. Now, when it comes to the stencil, again, you could use your... Now, I'm just looking for the shape. While I'm talking, I want this to almost flow this way. So I want this area here. I spend a bit of time sort of positioning my stencil look, and I like this shape so it looks like it's coming out of the corner. Now, what I was saying, you could use your tape and tape your stencil in place, but I'm going to hold it with my brush, and I'm using the blue first in the lid. Always get in that habit if you can. Hold your brush nice and gentle and just start in the corner. I'm sort of going round the wings, but if I get some ink over the wings or over the fairy, it doesn't matter. But I am sort of going around. And then back in, and I'm going to start in the corner Each time I ink up, I'll start in the corner because I want that my deepest blue. And then as I get further out, it will be lighter. And I tend to hold my brush lighter. And if I lift that up, can you see? So now is the time to come in with some pink. And again, you will get used to using one hand. Sorry, I think I just knocked my lamp. One hand on your stencil and one hand on your ink and your brush. Now again, I'm gently just going to come over sort of the edge of where the blue is and just blend it into that blue a little. Ink up and then in the lid. And then just add some pink right into the corner. Have a little look, and again, there's no rush unless your arm starts aching. Oh, I like that. Just want to blend the edge a little bit more, but I'm happy with the amount of pink here. So lightly, I'm just going to, with the pink, go over where the two colours meet. And then with my blue, I'm not adding any more ink, but with the brush, I'm just going to come over again where those two colours meet. Have a look. Yes, I like that. Little tip, ink on the brush here, spritz it on a spare piece of card or in your journal, and that gives you a fabulous background to start off with another day. Now I'm just going to put the lids on my ink so I can get them out of the way and show you. Look at that. And I love that, the way we've got the deeper blue here, comes into the lighter, mixed with the pink, so we've got a little bit of purpley tones going on, and then just fades into that corner. Love that. So I'm going to add some colour now, and I'm going to come in with my Zig markers. And I know you want to know the colours. I've gone for 27 dark pink. I'm just going to take all the lids off. 202 peach pink. 200 S almond pink. And then the blues, 34 dull blue. Oh, it's not a nice name, is it? Bless it. I don't think you're dull. And 36 light blue. And I'm just going to do a little bit of sort of blending here. And I'm going to come in with my deeper pink just in the middle. And then I'm going to come in with a lighter pink. And just sort of blend that over the deeper pink. And then here, I'm going to come in with my dark blue. Just sort of over that area. And then at the end, I'm going to come in with my light blue. And that's what I was saying about, didn't matter if we got any ink. And I'm just going to blend. So as you can see, it doesn't matter when we've got that ink on there. And then here, you can see where the dark is. I'm going to pick a little bit of the dark on my brush and just blend that into the light. So don't worry, it blends beautifully. It blends beautifully on Multifarious. Obviously on your watercolour card it will blend and move a lot more, but I've got enough blending on here to make this lovely. So I love that join there. Now the area I just want to work on is this bit here. So I'm coming with my light pink and I'm just going to blend into that blue and that dark pink at the same time. And that's why I've left that area there, look. So I can just work, and that'll just, will get a little bit on my pink, just to move it in. And then I'm just going to put the pink. And again, I'm just going to come in here and blend this. And I just want those bright, vibrant colours. I want that pink and that blue really to sing and be so bright. And then what I'm going to do with my dark blue is just almost come in this line here to just make a little bit of shadow there, look. To almost distinguish the top of that. But I love that. I just wanted some vibrant colours. In fact, I might just go over that a little bit more. Yeah. Now, the headdress, you could do any colour. I'm going to add blue for the flowers. But any of the colours that we've used. And then what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of shape to her. I think she's gorgeous, but for me, she just needs a little bit of shape. So this is one of our pastel pencils. So I'm just sort of going to give her a hairline. And then here where she's got a jaw look, just going to give her a little bit of a jawline and a shoulder here. And all it is I'm just accentuating the shape so her arm will come round there, look. And I'm giving it a little pastel sets if you just rub it. We don't need to put a fixative because I'm only using a little bit of pencil. And then you see here in the body, I just want to give her a bit of shape. So I know that this knee here comes round here, look. And this leg here will come down there. And that way it makes this foot, you can tell that foot is behind. Does that make sense? So we'll just add a little bit, her arm goes up there, doesn't it? So we'll just add a little bit on her front there. And I love the way, for me, with pastel, when I smudge it, I like the effect because it just makes it nice and faint. And it sort of fuzzies that edge. Now I'm just going to peel this, look. And I'm just going to add a little bit more on her foot there so that that goes right across. A little bit of highlight on there. And for me, that just gives her that shape. It just defines her a little bit better. So I just want to add one more bit of stamping, and that's this lovely verse in the background. And again, this one's called Fairy Words. And again, a little tip here. I mean, look at those words. We've got fairy dance, fairy lights, toadstools. See, that's fabulous because we've got our lovely toadstool mushrooms here. Believe. Absolutely gorgeous words. Fairy godmother, fairyland, enchantment. Anyway, look at this. You can test exactly where you want it on here. My other top tip with any sentiment or word stamps, even background ones, I put an arrow on the back because before now I have inked it up and stamped it upside down. Now this, I'm going to stamp in permanent, but I'm going for baby pink and Arctic. And I want to think about, I want pink down this side and blue down this side. So if I think when I stamp this here, this side will be my blue. So we need pink up this side. Let me just check. Yeah, pink up that side, turn it round. And if you've not done this before, it's so funny. I don't know if it's just me, but it does mess with my head. The number of times I confuse myself and think I've done it wrong. Well, and then I end up doing it wrong. But no, we're going to be good today. I'm sure we are. I'm happy to stamp over our fairy. It's the such light colours, these, and that's why I've left my masking tape. I just want to have it straight and right across here, there. And these are quite pale colours. I've gone for nice light colours. If you're worried about the colour being too strong, test it on your copy paper. You might want second generation. But I'm happy with what I've got in the fur, and I love that mixture of colours, look. So we can now take this lovely mat, look at that. Peels off beautifully. If you're worried it won't peel off, use your heat tool. It just melts the glue a little. Now, while I've still got my pens, I'm just going to colour. I didn't put the lids on because I just want to colour our lovely moss cap mushrooms. So I'm going for the pinks. You could use pink and blue. You could go for just your blue. But I decided I'm going for pink. So again, darker colour, mid colour, and then light. And I blend over the whole lot with the light. Nice quick colouring. These pens are fabulous. You can do so much with them. And I love the brightness of them. So again, depending what sort of colour I want, depends whether I use my watercolour pencils, my pastel pencils. Right, lids on. So that's a pink lid on a pink pen. And then blue lids. I don't want them to dry out. Right, so this lovely stem look, I'm going to use a Signo pen, and this is one of the metallic ones. every time I go to Lavinia to visit, I buy myself a different colour. And it's amazing because sometimes I don't think I need certain colours and I buy them. And then when I'm looking, it's like, oh, that'll be perfect just for this. And it's those little finishing touches, look. That blue, for me, is just what I need in there, look. Along there, you need a steady hand for this. And then we'll just put a couple of little dots on her headdress there. And then our white one, we'll just add, now you could do the white highlights on our beautiful fairy if you wanted, but I like to use, just for me, I find my pastel pencil, but if you want to use your pen, by all means go ahead. Just add in a couple, I don't want to overcook it. But then gold, Wink of Stella, you know I love my Wink of Stellas. Now it could be you're happy with this and you want to leave it at this, and that's the beauty of, because we design and we make our own cards, that's the beauty of this, that you can decide. You might think, I don't want that gold on Joe, I want to leave it, and that's perfectly fine. For me, I just wanted, I couldn't decide, I was going to add some stickles, glitter glue, and then I thought, not everybody, I don't want to over glitter, and I thought, do you know what, I'll go for my Wink of Stella. But I do have these conversations with myself, and I'm sure you're the same. And that's just enough for me to give it that lovely glitter without it taking over. And then finally, and again, you know what I'm like, I love my Posca splats. And I've got my yellow, and this is the sparkle, and I'm thinking this ties in with the beautiful gold there. So give it a shake. And I really want to concentrate this round here. So I'm going to hold my pen quite close, look, the back of my larger brush, and just gentle taps, and I can direct it exactly where I want it. So I'm directing it round here, look, down there, and I can miss our lovely fairy. Little bit up there, and then just a little bit down here. Now, if you want, you could put some masking tape back on there, but I'm happy that I can just direct it enough into that area. And there we have her. Now, I think she's stunning, and I'll bring in, if I pop that one there that we created today, and I'll bring this one in here, and as I say, remember the back of the card with a nice design. So remember that the mini seed head matches beautifully. And I just think that's such a lovely design. I mean, if you haven't got this lovely fairy tale, maybe you've got a different one that can sit on here. So I hope you create a design like this. As I say, perfect for those emergency cards. So you take care, and if you do, please pop it on social media in our Lavinia For You group, and do tag me in, because I'd love to see what you create. And if you use a different stamp, that will inspire others. The other crafters may have that stamp, and it might just be the push they need to get creating for this year. So you take care, enjoy the rest of your week. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.